to Guitar Technique, episode 19. In this lesson, we'll be working on vibrato technique. Now, the term vibrato comes from the common vocal technique that involves generating a waver back and forth on the vocalist's singing tones. When we explore the use of vibrato on the guitar, though, it involves rocking or, flexing and releasing the string through pushing and releasing of a fretted note on a string in a repeated pulse. Now, vibrato can be done fast or slow, and the change in pitch results from the tightening and the slackening of the guitar string as we rock it on its axis. Now, this is very similar to a process that we know of by using a whammy bar. The whammy bar also allows us, though, to drop the pitch down, whereas vibrato only flexes a note slightly above and then back into the normal pitch again. So let's start here in part one by learning some of the initial application and control for doing general hand vibrato technique. In exercise 1, I want to discuss just learning to control basic hand vibrato technique. Now, you got to realize there are some other types of vibrato out there. There's the classical vibrato, where you're shaking your finger from side to side. And there's also a vibrato that really comes a little bit more from the elbow. You'll see Eric Clapton doing that one. Where you're really giving a large part of your arm here, the main essence of, doing the shake. Now, those are very unique ideas, and in this lesson plan, what we're going to be focusing on are just basic whole hand vibrato, which is a vibrato that's coming from, fingers. You have your hand cupped to the back of the neck. Your thumb can be up a little higher. You can have, a little bit more of the forward part of your pads of your palm, into the bottom of the guitar's neck, and you can use that as sort of an axis where you're shaking the finger so that the string is balancing out against from the nut to the saddles of the bridge, and you're creating this nice balance overall of how that string is shaking. But sometimes when you're learning this technique, it can be very difficult to get the hand to make the movement properly, to have the note waver properly. So what you want to do in the very beginning is a great exercise is just to treat the vibrato that you're going to start developing more like a bend idea. And in example 1A, you can tell there I have that 5th fret of the 3rd string where there's a series of half-step bends that are going on. So we're just, you don't even have to bend it a whole half step up. A half step would be making it sound, like this. This is a C, so it's making it sound like a C sharp. You can take it, a little bit further, almost to that, about 3/4 of the way to that. You don't have to take it all the way to that. And, you're just, getting the hand used to doing that pivot. And so that's going to be generating the feel eventually of when you're doing your full-on proper vibrato. So, here's the idea of the, what I'm going to call like a half-step bend waver for developing more of a vibrato effect than anything else. You're just training your hand to make the motion of rocking the string on its axis points, which again are the nut and the saddle of the bridge. And then that would be almost really, though, considered a very slow vibrato. Now that is in the handout under example 1A, but if you look at example 1B, it's showing a proper vibrato line there on the page at the 7th fret note. That's a D note, by the way, on the 3rd string's 7th fret. So when you hit that, you can see what I'm doing is I'm doing a much faster shake of the note compared to what we had in example 1A. Example 1A was very smooth and very slow. And I'm testing the resistance of the tension of the string again against the axis of the of the layout of the string on the neck, which is again through the nut up to the saddle of the bridge. And I'm testing the feel with that idea of the half-step movement. But then when I'm going up into example 1B, I'm just really going a lot faster with this other finger. And it doesn't matter really which finger that you use. I mean, eventually you'll want to get good at vibrato using any finger. But the concept overall is that we're starting slow and we're getting used to rocking the string against its own tension, and where the string's coming up out of pitch and then returning back to its normal C again. You can even bounce it a little bit faster like that. And then here's the full-on vibrato, a little bit faster. So, the idea is to understand how to do it slow, move it up to faster speeds. I mean, you listen to someone like Angus Young. I mean, he has a really fast vibrato. Some of these, players are just really ripping it out to make an incredibly fast shake of the string. But the premise of what's going on is still completely the same. We're rocking the string between its axis points, and we're trying to get used to that feeling of bending the string rapidly and having it, we're sort of fighting it against its own sense of tension along the neck. So that would be my suggestion to start with, is to just learn how to smoothly waver a note and, relate it to, what the pulse of that rocking wave is like. Just getting used to a single tone producing that effect, then moving it, over someplace else, maybe developing a little faster, taking it up even to faster speeds. But really, we're fighting the tension of the string, the natural tension of the string, and we're rocking it, creating a waver. And you can hear within the vibrato, there's actually a pulse that's there. And it would be tied, quite closely to what the tempo of the tune is. We might be rocking the string to a 16th note pulse or, an 8th note or whatnot. But it just depends on, how you want to set it up. It's up to you. But the idea overall in the beginning is just to get the general hand control and learn what it's like to execute this idea. And then, once it's okay in one region of the neck, you can take it to other places. Harder strings for beginners to do vibrato would be, up on the first string. Second string's getting a little bit easier because we have more room to rock the string. You can even just take individual tones of a scale. If you could take a C major scale, right over there in 5th position, and then just try to use each finger and rock the notes a little bit. Great little exercises, really just feeding off the premise that we started with here in exercise 1. So we're going to wrap things up now in exercise 1. We'll come back in video 2 for moving on to exercise 2, where we're going to add vibrato technique around a melody line. That was an excerpt from the 19th lesson of my guitar technique course. The remainder of this lesson is available behind a paywall on my website at creativeguitarstudio.com, but I thought you might like to see this segment, so I put it here on YouTube for you to get a better idea about what this guitar technique course actually has to offer. If you want to subscribe to my website and gain access to this course, along with my introductory, intermediate, and advanced guitar programs, plus many other courses on the website, just head over to creativeguitarstudio.com and sign up with a free lifetime membership to get started. Then you can always upgrade to either a monthly, or you could go for the discounted yearly premium membership plan. If you have any questions, you can reach me either by phone or email. Just click on the link in the YouTube description box under where it says Become a Member Today. Improvising a rock lead is a must-have skill for every guitarist. This lesson plan shows how to combine 7-tone scales, arpeggios, and pentatonics to create more interesting rock solos. The focus throughout the lesson plan is placed upon using embellishments like slides, vibrato, bends, hammer-ons, and pull-offs. As a bonus, a complete rock song is included for jamming over at home. Rock lead soloing is available for instant download in the View Our Products area at creativeguitarstudio.com. Thanks for watching part 1 of the lesson. Sign up for a membership at creativeguitarstudio.com to watch the rest of the videos. Up next, we'll study adding vibrato to a melody line and working vibrato into 2, 3, and 4-note chords. As a member, you'll be able to download the handout for this lesson along with many more professional guitar lessons. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch up next in the members area.